All right. All right, guys, welcome to our Elevate Challenge webinar. I am Tiana King from the Challenge team. We're going to get into a little bit of an overview of what this new 8-week challenge is, what you can expect, and how you can get your members excited to join us on this journey. So some of the things that we'll discuss today, obviously the introduction to what Elevate actually is, some of the new changes coming to Challenge, how those phases are broken out for these 8 weeks. We'll get a little bit of a recap from athletics on what you can expect since we've got some collaboration going on this time around. Some new updates coming in the Challenge app and our nutrition that you all know and love. So we'll get straight into it. This 8-week guided program this time around is going to be focused on members' personal fitness and performance progress, which we're really excited to bring a little bit of a differentiated offering to Challenge. Obviously, it's always super successful to lead with that nutrition piece, get people chasing their weight loss goals. But now we want to see what they can actually do applying their fitness in a challenge framework. So we'll work on general fitness, new skills, new strength, and aligning with the F45 athletics programming that's already going to be implemented for all members. We'll get into a little bit more of a holistic wellness practice and sustainable lifestyle changes that members can take with them forever after they are out of the gym and after they finish this 8-week challenge. And then the tried and true nutritional guidance and support that's always available to you on F45 website and app. So our key dates here are obviously registration opening coming up quick here on October 10th, which will stay open for 2 weeks. Elevate will begin on October 24th, which is a Monday. We suggest the in-body scan process happens anywhere between the 20th and the 24th. And then Elevate will end on December 17th. So now jumping into our phases, we've got 3 phases broken out by 3 weeks, with our final phase being 2 weeks this time around. That first one really being the preparation, setting a foundation for members with moving well, getting their assessments in. We've got a new mechanism in the app that will help guide them through setting a SMART goal, which will be really measurable and attainable and specific for them as they go through these 8 weeks. We'll have a new benchmark workout, which has a tracking capability in the app. And then, of course, the meal planning and nutritional support that all challengers are used to enjoying. So some key learnings and takeaways from this phase is that goal setting accountability moment. Highly suggest coaches and staff members leading members through this process so that it's something not just they know they're tracking against, but that the rest of their team knows as well. That fitness baseline, so making sure they understand where they're at from a fitness perspective, what some of their opportunities are, and how they can actually grow and improve upon those. We'll get some nutrition basics, kind of understanding new lifestyle and nutrition habits, getting into a bit of a more established routine. Taking all of that into weeks 4 through 6 into phase 2, we'll really be building upon those foundational learnings and starting to implement them, starting to add a little more intensity to their workouts, going through a new series that we're going to be having in the app for recovery. So making sure we're rounding out really awesome training with really great recovery. And then that continued nutritional content that we'll speak to a little bit more that will be coming in the app and on social media. So some key learnings here is, again, that recovery and holistic lifestyle takeaway. Mindful and realistic nutrition. You'll see some really fun new content coming from the nutrition team on F45's Instagram channel. And then looking at nutrition as fuel for what you're doing in the gym, and kind of building a different relationship with food and nutrition. Finally, rounding us out in our last 2 weeks will be those fitness gains and growth, and actually getting to look back on where you started in the beginning and seeing how far you've come. So testing out with the benchmark workout. Huge key here is goal reflection. So whether or not you hit your goal to a T, there's always growth. So making sure that we're really celebrating members through all these moments and setting intention for those new bars that they may be setting. So next we'll get into a little bit of how athletics has come together with Challenge this time around and some of the new updates you can see.
Right, thanks, Yana. I'm Joe Batt from the athletics team here at our HQ in Austin. And we've obviously been working on a lot of exciting stuff behind the scenes. I think the main kind of messaging behind, or from an athletics point of view behind this challenge, is that we are also focusing very much on the performance throughout the challenge. The main talking points from our side is really just kind of three main ones. Is going to be the testing, programming, the specific programming, and also referring to then the movement activity calendar, which Tiana, you can bring up for me when we speak to that slide. But not yet, we'll get there. But that's the one. So just in terms of testing workouts, team, three-peat as usual will be scheduled at the start of challenge during that first week of challenge. With specific targets, we're going to aim to keep 3 movements that you will see again at the end of challenge. This is going to be more cardio driven, or more driven to the F45 engine team. So focusing on the cardio aspect there, and how you progress over the 8 weeks with your cardio fitness. Now three-peat will be the three-peat that you all know and love. So seeing that at the beginning and again at the end, and we really want to focus on those indicators for improvement that we also want you to track, and you will also be able to enter that into your challenge app. Now, another option here, I know it takes a lot of extra work if you have to do this, but it definitely pays off. A lot of your members are going to be joining at this time of the start of challenge, so you really want to throw the true F45 DNA at them. Playoffs, which you can load up, is another option to gauge performance. You can obviously include this at the beginning of the playoffs, and you can again add this at the end of the playoffs to see how they progress with the scoring mechanism that you can then track their progress over this time and seeing if your members really improved from a start of challenge towards the end of challenge. Then we also have a very exciting new workout, testing specific workout that's launching called Benchmark. Now, this is going to be more specific to strength testing, and you'll see this scheduled on the second week, the Tuesday, the second week of the challenge. We will program this into the normal phase at the start, and then it will be available in the F45 training app as an optional to run afterwards as well, just like with playoffs. Benchmark will test mainly the fundamental lifts so that members can gauge their lifting capabilities over 10 reps. You're going to be looking at movements like deadlifts, bench, squat, max reps of push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups. So all of those big fundamental movements. And this workout specifically designed to kind of track your progress over that time. So, you want to think that when a member comes in at the beginning of challenge, we really want to get as much information from them as possible to kind of steer them more towards what's their specific goal, right? Is it going to be more strength focused, or do they want to do this more cardio focused? And obviously that's going to give you information that you can apply as a good coach, as a good trainer during this phase or this challenge phase, to really apply that knowledge that you've gathered from them to steer them to their specific goals. And you now have some extra tools to really gauge performance and testing throughout this. In terms of programming across the phase, programming is going to be designed to support all the challenges and the entire network. We obviously want to build as much confidence and capability around our main lifts, and very much, zone in on the cardio improvements throughout the challenge. You can bring up that movement calendar. Oh, there we go, Tiana. Thank you so much. Now, this is something in the past I think that a lot of studios has done well. But we don't see it being consistent across challenges. So kind of, really driving that engagement in studio with your members is a very important aspect, but it does require sometimes a lot of, effort, a lot of work. And we want to take that off your hands. We want to make sure that we actually now have something that we are kind of tying in the entire network, and it's not just the individual studios that's doing this. Obviously, you want to drive this as hard home as you can in your studio, but we also want to make sure that we tie in this as a global presence, so everybody across the globe is doing the same thing, true to the DNA of F45. So here's just a little calendar that's going to help drive the engagement, the focus of each session. Again, if you look at this one, there's going to be a F45 strong focus and a F45 engine focus, which again is going to be if there's people that want to focus or members that want to focus more resistance and strength, they're obviously going to approach this phase a little bit different to someone that maybe wants to focus on more, cardiovascular improvements, right? So if we just take this one as an example, I kind of just give you a top level overview. There's still a few exciting things that we want to add to this, but there's a lot of additional work. Primary push for your members would be to get them into class, right? We want to see them do the workouts. We want to see them perform during the sessions, and we want to drive home that we want to see progression from week 1 to week 8. Now, if you look at this, you're going to see a lot of additional work, right? If you're looking at a Monday, obviously our cardio days, we have a few extras that you can do across this phase on a Monday each day to really make sure that we keep the members engaged. Perhaps some members feel like they've missed out on a Monday and they know at least, there's something that they can kind of commit to on that day as well. And again, just like creating an aspect of engagement, of talking points, of testing, accountability is a big part of this drive with this calendar. Then on your Tuesdays, what you'll also see, this is going to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you'll see your movement of the day. So if you look at the workout or on the screen, you'll see a little star that will come up on the focused movement of that day. We're also going to make sure that we communicate this in the session highlights so that if the focus of the day is pull-ups or it is bench press or deadlifts, you'll know that, hey, during this workout, this is going to be the movement that I want to focus on and that I really want to track across the phase, and you'll see it coming up throughout the phase so that, again, we go back to the roots of personalized training and we can track that progression. And we really want to focus on that and make that a talking point throughout this phase or this challenge, that members have to kind of have a focus in the beginning, and we want to see that progression over time, right? Kind of just jumping into Thursday again, a Wednesday, you're going to see a lot of additional activities again that we want members to complete. I'm not going to go through them now. There's quite a few interesting ones, but we also want to engage you guys throughout the week in recovery drills, mobility drills. So that's something that you're going to see as a new addition to this challenge. Specifically on Fridays, we'll have a few recovery drills that we want your members to go through so they kind of reset before they hit the weekend or the next week to really get the most out of this from a performance point of view. And then Saturday, we want members to move for 60 minutes. So if they come to class, if they come to a Banger Hollywood, they're going to be good to go. But again, maybe they miss that Saturday, and hey, make sure you get out for at least an hour mountain biking or a hike or a paddle or surf. But we want to engage our members to keep moving, right? And challenge gets tough halfway through. We want to make sure that we utilize this to make sure that we keep them accountable. We have those check-in points with them and those little victories, those little challenges each day that we want to celebrate. Because just speaking to a lot of people that's been through challenge, sometimes it doesn't always go to plan and we feel defeated. And I think this really adds to that value that we can give them and say, like, move on, get up and go again. And that's the purpose behind having this additional work and little challenges performance challenges within the challenge to drive our members home. And then on a Sunday, it's going to be core focused. So you'll have a few core movements that you can focus on in studio and at home. I want to make that clear that you can do this as an additional in studio, and you can also encourage members to do this at home. But a lot of good things happening, and I really got to give a big thanks to Tiana and Ashley and the challenge team and the rest of my team for putting a lot of thought into this, that we can really bring a different experience and change the game when it comes to challenge, to keep it exciting and to keep our members moving forward and onwards and upwards.
Thank you, Joe. We'll get into very briefly some of the new updates coming into the challenge app. These are screenshots of the app as is now, because you can still expect all the same great nutrition guidance, some of the same mechanisms to set goals, figure out if your client wants to lose, gain, or maintain, and then that will spit out that calorie count. So none of that changes. All that stays the same. There's still the same meal preferences with our mainstream vegetarian and vegan, but we will have new tracking mechanisms from a performance perspective. So that benchmark workout that was spoken to earlier, you'll be able to go in and actually enter your score. You'll have the opportunity to share that back with a coach, share that out with your team if you want to compare and contrast scores. And then you'll also be able to record again later on in challenge, so you can see growth and maybe where some of the opportunities still lie. There'll be daily supplemental work that was also spoken to previously with athletics, and some of those key movements that you see in the benchmark workout and repeat will be able to be tracked in the app. So another place to just add in scores and build that baseline of fitness and a plan forward and how to grow it. You'll see an interface refresh, which we're really excited about. A couple new refresh places that you probably haven't seen before. And then we'll also have some recovery work coming in the Learn section by Christina. So it'll be a weekly delivery of recovery workouts to supplement all the workouts. Supplement workouts, supplement workout. Supplement workouts, recovery workouts to aid in all the gym work. And next, I'm going to hand it off to our dietitian, Ashley, who's going to give a bit of a deep dive on F45 nutrition.
Hey team, I'm Ashley Kidd, the F45 and Challenge registered dietitian. As always, the F45 Challenge customized meal plans adhere to global dietetic guidelines as outlined by the USDA, American Dietetic Association, and other accredited dietetic associations. We will continue to have cook at home and meal order options. Prepared meals are going to be really great for challengers who are on a time crunch, and they can, really save time on food prep throughout the week. And just an update on the prepared meals, studios and regions with an official meal supplier will now receive a commission directly from the supplier. So there will be more information on this to come. And now we will get into the Elevate phases as far as nutrition education goes. I'm really excited about this. That first, 1 to 3 weeks, we're going to lay a foundation with just that general knowledge on macros, quality nutrition, and really what the meal plans are there for, which is really just a tool to help the challengers. And we will have resources. There's links here. Obviously, you can't click them, but these are going to be on the app and the website. Weeks 4 to 6, we're going to expand upon that performance nutrition, micronutrients, and a new way to approach mindful eating. And again, we have some sources up on the blog and website, and we have some additional resources to come, specifically targeted towards the holidays as well. And then those last 2 weeks will aid in the implementation of all of the new knowledge and practices for an optimal challenge finish and off-ramp into sustainable habits. And we have some really, really great content coming there, whether it's on social media. So we'll have some fun things there on the channel and also in the app. And then something that is coming new to Elevate will be a holistic and wellness nutrition tips that will actually pop up weekly in the app, and challengers will have access to that. So the topics will include mindful eating, sleep and rest, and also improving your relationship with food. So I'm really excited about that, ready to roll out some new nutrition education.
Awesome. Thank you. So pumped about all the additions that you brought for this Elevate Challenge. So thank you. Resources, where you can find all this information is, as usual, on Playbook. Well, you'll have access to this presentation, a snapshot sheet, handouts for your members, as well as all the digital assets that we've created for Elevate. And then tools that your members can look into, again, are the Challenge app, which is free for Apple and Android. If you've got an active F45 member profile, then you can access all of that great content. And then again, our Instagram handle. Questions can be shot over to the support handle or email address rather. And we are excited to see you in the studio. Thank you.